Hi guys and welcome back. It's been a while since I've posted a video, but I'm here with a really fun project. Today we're going to be making a surprise with a little banana, and if you open it up, you have a little monkey on the inside. Before we get started, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon to get notified every time I post a video. If you try out any of my patterns, don't forget to tag me on Instagram or send me the pictures by email. The links are in the description below. So let's get started. So here are all the supplies you're going to need for this project. I'm using medium 4 worsted weight yarn. I have yellow, which we're going to be using for the banana peel, as well as off-white. I also have some dark brown. We'll be using this for the stalk of the banana. And I have a slightly darker shade of brown compared to this. If you can just see, this is more of an oatmeal or a lighter color. This is a little darker. I'm going to be using these two for the monkey. Along with all of this yarn, I'm going to be using a 3.25 millimeter crochet hook. I also have a yarn needle, a stitch marker, one pair of safety eyes, and you're going to need some kind of stuffing. Either you can use polyfill fiber fill, or you can even use just old scrap pieces of yarn. You're also going to need yarn in a lighter yellow color. So if you see, that's the shade difference between my yarn. If you don't have light yellow, maybe you can use just cream or off-white, that's fine too. Now we're going to get started with the base of the banana peel. So for that I'm starting with my yellow yarn. We're going to do a magic ring. Wrap the yarn across 2 fingers to create an X at the back of your fingers. Insert your crochet hook into the bottom. Pick up the top and twist, and then just pull up a loop. You have a magic ring ready. If you're not comfortable with the magic ring method, just chain 2 and start working into the second chain from the hook. Into this magic ring, we're going to place 6 single crochets. Insert your crochet hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Tuck the tail end of your magic ring to close it up. Now for row number 2, we're going to work only in the back loop. So if you see, each of the loops has a V, one of the stitches facing towards us and one away from us. We're going to work on that stitch facing away from us and place 1 single crochet all the way around for 6 stitches for this row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm just going to add a stitch marker to keep track of my rows. Now for the next 2 rows, you're just going to place 1 single crochet all the way around for 6 stitches for each of these rows. This time we'll work into the front and the back loops. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and do that for 1 more row. Now for the next row, into each of these stitches you're going to place an increase or 2 single crochets. Into the first one, 1 and 2. Into the one after that, 1, 2. Into the next one, 1 and 2. Do this 6 times all the way around until you have 12 stitches for this row. Now for the next row, into the first stitch you're going to place 1 single crochet. Into the next one, 1 and 2, or an increase. Again 1. Into the next one, 1, 2, 1, 1, and 2. And you're going to do this 6 times all the way around until you have 18 stitches for this row. Now for the next row, you're going to do 2 single crochets. 1 in the first stitch, 1 in the second stitch. Into the third stitch and increase 1 and 2. 1, 1, 1 and 2. Do this 6 times all the way around until you have 24 stitches for this row. Now for the next row, you're going to do 3 single crochets followed by an increase 6 times all the way around for 30 stitches for this row. 1, 2, 3 and then 1, 2. Now for the next row, you're going to do 4 single crochets followed by an increase 6 times all the way around until you have 36 stitches for this row. Now for the next row, you're going to do 5 single crochets followed by an increase 6 times all the way around until you have 42 stitches for this row. Now for the next row, you're going to do 6 single crochets followed by an increase 6 times all the way around until you have 48 stitches for this row. Now for the next row, we're going to do 7 single crochets followed by an increase 6 times all the way around until we have 54 stitches for this row. We're going to follow this up with 6 rows of just 1 single crochet all the way around for 54 stitches for each of the rows. Now once you're done with your repeat rows, you should have something looking like this. Now for the next row, we're going to do 1 row of just 1 single crochet all the way around again for 54 stitches. But this time we're going to work only in the front loops. So you have this stitch which is the V. You're going to pick the loop which is facing closest to you. So split up the stitch, pick up the one facing closest to you and place 1 single crochet all the way around, and it should look like this. So now we're going to start creating the peel of the banana. So let's do the first one. You're going to start with 10 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Once you're done with your 10 single crochets, chain 1 and turn your work around. We're just going to keep working back and forth just in this area. In the first 2 stitches, we're going to place a decrease. To place a decrease, split your stitch into 2 parts, pick up the front loop. Of the next stitch, pick up the front loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Place 1 single crochet into the next 6 stitches. And now into the next 2 stitches, you're just going to do a decrease. So again, and that completes your 8 stitches. Chain 1, turn your work around again and just place 8 single crochets for the next 2 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Do that one more time. Now for the next row, chain 1, turn your work around, do a decrease into the first stitch, 1 single crochet into the next 4, that's 1, 2, 3 and 4, and into the last 2 stitches we're going to do a decrease again. This brings our stitch count total to 6 stitches. Chain 1, turn and do 2 rows of just 6 stitches for this row. Now for the next row, chain 1, turn, decrease into the first stitch, do 2 single crochets, 1 and 2, decrease into the last stitch, brings your stitch count total to 4 stitches, chain 1, turn and 2 rows of just 1 single crochet all the way around for 4 stitches for each of the rows. Now for the next row, chain 1, turn your work around, let's do a decrease followed by yet another decrease. That's 2 stitches, chain 1, turn, do that just for 1 more row, chain 1, turn and place your last decrease, and that completes your first peel of the banana. Now you're going to have to grab your scissors and snip the yarn off. Now that I've snipped my yarn off. I'm just gonna pull this through. That completes the first peel. Now this is the point where we'd finished this peel, the 10 stitch. Skip one stitch. On the next one you're going to reattach your yellow yarn. Chain 1. Go ahead and place 10 single crochets. And now you're going to repeat the pattern that we just did. Chain 1, turn your work around, start with a decrease on the first stitch, followed by 6 single crochets, followed by a decrease for 8 stitches, 2 rows of 8, and then just keep making a second banana peel just like the first one we did. So here we go, that's my 8 stitches, chain 1, 2 rows of 8. So once you're done with this peel, reattach your yarn, skip one stitch, reattach your yarn, again go 10, 8, 2 rows of 8, make another peel, and then another one. You should have 5 peels in total at the end. So go ahead and create all your 5 peels. Just follow the pattern that we did for the first one. Just remember, when you're doing your new peel, you're going to skip one stitch, reattach your yarn into the next one, and then start with your 6 single crochets. Go ahead, prepare all of your peels, and then I'll show you what to do next. Now once you're done, this is what it should look like. So we have our 5 pieces of the banana peel. Now we're going to attach our yarn to this row. If you remember, we've done a row of just front loop single crochets. We're going to go to one of the pieces of peel. I'm going to take my light yellow yarn. I'm going to attach it here, chain 1, and then I'm going to repeat the same pattern that I did for the peel and make an inner peel over here. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do 10 single crochets, chain 1, turn, 8, 8, 6, and do it on each of these peels. So you're going to repeat the pattern you just did, just to create an inner peel. So we're going to have an outer layer, and when you peel the banana, the inner layer is a little lighter, so we're going to do the inner layer. So go ahead and do the inner layer. Just repeat this pattern all over again for each of the 5 pieces, and once you're done, I'll show you what to do next. Once you're done, this is what it should look like. So if you see, you have double peels on each of the 5 sides. Now you can just thread up your light yellow peel and just do a simple stitch to attach the 2 sides together. So I'm just gonna go back and forth like this to attach these in place. Go ahead and do that for all the sides, and that completes the bottom part of your banana peel. Now we're going to start working on the little banana top, and the pattern is pretty much the same as the bottom. I'm just going to get you started because we'll be doing a color change. So to get started, we're going to do a magic ring with our brown yarn, and into this magic ring we're going to place 6 single crochets. Tuck the tail end to close up the magic ring. For row number 2, just 1 single crochet all the way around for 6 stitches for this row. Now when you're on your very last stitch, we're going to grab our scissors, snip the yarn off. We're going to pick up the dark yellow colored yarn that we used for the outer part of the banana peel. We're going to place the yarn in front and just pull the loop through, tug on all the strings to tighten. Now for the next row, you're going to place one single crochet all the way around in the yellow, but this time you're going to do it only in the back loops. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Now you're going to repeat the pattern that you were doing before. We're going to increase to 12, 18, 24, 30, 36 and do this all the way until we reach 42 stitches. Now once you're done, this is what it looks like. Now for the next 2 rows, you're just going to place one single crochet all the way around for 42 stitches for each of the rows. Now for the next row, you're going to place 6 single crochets followed by an increase 6 times all the way around until you have 48 stitches, and then you're going to follow that up with 4 rows of just one single crochet all the way around for 48 stitches for each of the rows. So now we're going to get started with working on the monkey. I've started with a magic ring with 6 single crochets with some brown yarn. It's a really similar pattern to what we've done for the rest of the project so far. The next row that you're going to do is an increase all the way around for 12 stitches followed by one single crochet followed by an increase for 18, and you're going to keep doing your increases until you reach 48 stitches. So I'll put the entire pattern that you need to follow after this. Once you reach the row with 48 stitches, meet me back here again and I'll show you what to do next. Now once you've done the repeat rows of the head, this is what it looks like. We're going to take a break from this, so I'm just going to put this apart. We're going to take a slightly lighter colored yarn, and now we're going to start working on the face of the monkey. So the reason why we're doing the face in between the head is because I want to attach the safety eyes, and if I complete the head and I stuff it, I won't be able to attach the safety eyes. So let's work on that bit now. We're going to start with a magic ring. I'm using the same hook as what I was before because it's the same weight of yarn. Into the magic ring, let's do 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Tug on the tail end of the magic ring to close it up. Now for row number 2, into that first stitch, which is the one right here, we're going to do 3 single crochets. 1, 2 and 3. Into the one after that, we're going to do 1 and 2. Into the next one, we're going to do just 1. Again, into the next one, we're going to do 3. 1, 2, 3. Into the next one, 2, 1 and 2. And into the last stitch, 1. This should bring our stitch count total for this row to 12 stitches. I'm just going to add a stitch marker to keep track of my rows. Now for the next row, into that first stitch, we're going to place one single crochet. Into the next 3 stitches, we're going to place an increase each. So into the first one, 1, 2. Into the next one, 1, 2. Into the one after that, again 1 and 2. Now into the next 3 stitches, just one single crochet each. That's 1, 2 and 3. Now next, into the next 3 stitches, we're going to do 2, 1 and 2. Again 1 and 2, followed by one more time 1 and 2. You should have 2 stitches left right at the end. Into those last 2 stitches, just one single crochet each. 1, 1. This brings our stitch count total to 18 stitches for this row. Now for the next row, into the first 2 stitches, one single crochet each. 1 into the first stitch, 1 into the second stitch. Into the next stitch we're going to do an increase, followed by 1 single crochet, followed by an increase, again 1 single crochet, again an increase, and then into the next 4 stitches just 1 single crochet each. That's 1, 1, 1 and 1. Into the next one, let's go in for an increase again, followed by a single crochet, followed by an increase, a single crochet, an increase, and into the very last 2 stitches 1 single crochet each. Now for the next row we're going to start with 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, follow that up with an increase, a single crochet, an increase, a single crochet and an increase. Now into the next 7 stitches we're just going to do 1 single crochet each. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we're going to do again an increase, single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase, and you should be left with 4 stitches. We're going to do 1 single crochet into the last 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now once you're done, we're just going to do 1 row of 1 single crochet all the way around for 30 stitches for this row. Now once you're done, you can just remove your stitch marker and snip your yarn off. That completes the bottom part of your snout. Now we're going to make a top part to complete the face. So now once you're done with this piece of the face, you're going to make a second piece, just a circle shape. Start with a magic ring with 6 single crochets, increase to 12, 1 single crochet followed by an increase for 18, 2 single crochets followed by an increase for 24, 3 single crochets followed by an increase for 30. Now we're going to attach this to the face. So choose the side that you want. We're going to place the oval shape down and the circular shape behind it like this, and then we're going to stitch this in place, and that's how our face is going to look. Let me show you how to stitch this. So I've threaded up my yarn. We're going to start with the circular piece and just do a simple stitch. Make sure that you're only picking up the front side and you're not stitching the 2 sides together. We're just going to do a simple stitch all the way around to attach this in place like this. Next we're going to take the oval shape, place it just below the circle, so that's the midpoint. We're going just about at the midpoint, and then we're going to do the same thing, just a simple stitch around to sew this in place. Now once you're done attaching the face, this is what it looks like. Now you can place the safety eyes. We're going to go on either side of the circular piece that we made. You're gonna have to push it in a little bit because we've got quite a few layers of yarn, and then you're gonna have one safety eye here and then other one on the other side, both in either corner. Once you're happy with the placement, place the safety backing at the back. And once you've placed your safety eyes, this is what it should look like. Now we're going to start with our first row of decreases. So we're going to do 6 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, followed by a decrease. To do a decrease, if you see each stitch has a V, we're going to split the first stitch, split the second stitch. You have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Let's do that again. Place your 6 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Now let's do a decrease. Split the first stitch, split the stitch after that, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Do this 6 times all the way around until you're left with 42 stitches for this row. Now for the next row, you're going to do 5 single crochets followed by a decrease 6 times all the way around until you have 36 stitches for this row. That's 4, 5. Let's do a decrease again together. Now for the next row, we're going to do 4 single crochets followed by a decrease 6 times all the way around until we have 30 stitches for this row. Now before we go on to the next row, let's add some stuffing. With every row that you make now, you're going to have to keep adding stuffing till we reach the end of the body. It's just a few more rows. Make sure you stuff this, but you don't stuff it too much because then it becomes a little hard to crochet. I'm going to keep adding it anyway, and we can start off with the next row then. Now for the next row, you're going to do 3 single crochets followed by a decrease 6 times all the way around until you have 24 stitches for this row. Now for the next row, you're going to do 2 single crochets followed by a decrease 6 times all the way around until you have 18 stitches for this row. Don't forget to continuously keep adding stuffing. Now for the next row, you're going to do 1 single crochet followed by a decrease 6 times all the way around until you have 12 stitches for this row. We're reaching the end, so as I've been saying, don't forget to add your stuffing. And now for the last row of the body, we're just going to decrease around and then we're going to close up. So you'll have 6 decreases and then I'll show you how to close. Now you can just grab your scissors, leave a long tail for sewing in, snip your yarn off and pull it through. Remove the stitch marker and you're just going to thread up your yarn into the yarn needle and we're going to sew this shut. We're just going to go in and out of each of those stitches on the top and just pull this closed and you can hide in your end. And once you're done, this is what it should look like. Now let's add all the other details. Now we're going to start working on the ears. So I've started with a magic ring with 6 single crochets, increased around to 12, and I'm using the same color I used for the face. I'm on the 12th stitch. I haven't finished it because we're going to do a color change now. So I have my 2 loops. Usually I would just yarn over and pull through. Instead of doing that, we're going to pick up the yarn that we used for the body, the brown colored yarn, place it in front and just pull through. So we've done a color change. You can snip off the other yarn now. Now for the next row, you're just going to do 1 single crochet followed by an increase 6 times all the way around until you have 18 stitches for this row, and that completes your ears. Go ahead and make 2 exactly the same way and I'll show you what to do next. Once you're done, this is what it should look like. Now we're gonna start working on the hands, legs and the tail. Same pattern for all of these, just different sizes. So let me show you what to do first. You're going to do a magic ring. Into the magic ring, we're going to do our 6 single crochets. Tug the tail end to pull this close. For the second row, we're going to do 1 single crochet into the first stitch, into the second stitch, 1, 2, again 1, 1 and 2, and do that a third time, 1, 1 and 2. That gives you 9 stitches in total for this second row, and we're going to just continue on with 9 stitches. For the hands, you're going to do this for another 5 rows. For the legs, you're going to do this for another 8 rows. To do the tail, we started with a magic ring with 6 single crochets and just did 11 rows of 1 single crochet all the way around for 6 stitches for each of the rows. Now we're going to put everything together, starting with the ears. So we're going to put the ears on either side, align it with the line where your eyes are. So I've threaded up the yarn. I'm just going to go on this side, place the ears the way I want it, and then just do a simple stitch to attach this in place. Next we're going to do the hands and the legs. So let me just show you the placement. On either side, just below the ears, we're going to place the hands this way, and for the legs, just below the hands, all in the same line, we're going to do the legs going a little closer, going forward like this. Again, same kind of stitching, simple stitches around just to attach these in place. You can put pins to mark out your placement before you start if you want, or you can just count the number of rows to make sure it's equal on either side. Once you're happy with the placement of the arm, let's just do a simple stitch. And put this together in place. Like this. And finally, to do the tail, we're gonna go to the back, flatten this out, and just stitch this on like this. Once you're done sewing all the parts together, this is what it should look like. Now we're gonna do a little bit of detailing on the face and then we're done. Before that, let me show you how to do the assembly. So you can put the monkey into the bottom of the banana peel. You're gonna have to stuff the legs and the tail in a little bit, like that, and you have the little top that goes on like this, and once you open up your banana peel, there's your little monkey. So here's the monkey all done with the final detailing. I've done some nostrils as well as a little smile. You can add anything else that you like to it as well. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope whoever you've made this for has a fun little surprise. If you enjoy watching my videos, please subscribe to the channel and comment below and let me know what you want to see next. And until next time, bye bye.